What's up, you guys? This is Ronnie with investwithronnie.com. Just dropped my son off to school, and just wanted to share a little bit of information this morning about what I've been reading, what I've been studying on, which is very important and concerns to the beginner's journey of starting an online business. Which is your mindset. Your mindset is the first step in your journey because you got to change the way you think, you got to change the way you view things, and it really affects your results in your journey because, going into it, if just thinking, not too sure, not confident if it's going to work, then 9 times out of 10 it's probably not going to work. And like, say, this book I'm reading right now was a recommendation actually from somebody that I was networking with a few days ago. The book is called As a Man Thinks by James Allen, so definitely go check it out. I also will have that link in the description below so that you could get a download of the ebook. But what it really enforces and talks about is the power of the mind, which also, relates to how true it is, because the Bible even has a scripture that says that as a man thinks, so is he. And so the way you think reflects what you are, and what you're going to receive, or what outcome you're most likely to obtain. So it pretty much talks about, the threefold being, which is your mind, your body, which is your actions, and then your outcome. But also is your mind, your actions, and then, or your thoughts, your actions, and your results. And it talks about pretty much how, the way you think empowers the actions you take. The actions you take empowers the results that you reap. Now, it's definitely can't stress enough important to really build your mind up, study and read self-development books, personal development. I study a lot of Jim Rohn, which talks about developing your mind, changing the habits from what you were taught to the habits of success or the habits of achieving greatness. For example, when I first started my blog and I was studying, I actually just dived into it and started the blog, which, is not a bad thing, but at the same time, my mindset wasn't fully where it should have been or where it could have been, because if I initially focused on my mindset from the beginning, then I would have had a different outlook when I first started online. I wouldn't have had that, I'm just going to try this out, see if it works. Or, I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm just going to try it and keep going and see how far I get. You can't think like that, because at the end of the day, that's the actions that you're actually that's what you're going to do. You're going to act in a way to where you're not going to have all of your strength, all of your mind, all of your potential put forth so that you can cut the learning curve or reap better results than what it is what you're trying to get to. And so that's what I want to talk to you guys about today, is really focusing on your mindset. Really focusing on your mindset, I always post motivational videos and things of that nature to talk about your mindset, to talk about the way you think, changing the way you think, which brings up another topic, another book I had read, well actually two books that I had read, which one of them you guys already know about. If not, definitely go check it out. You could get a free download ebook, which the book is called Think and Grow Rich. I got so many authors in my head, but that's the name of the book, Think and Grow Rich. And it also talks about the way you think affects the way you act, affects the results that you reap. Because if you think positive thoughts, if you have the mentality like, look, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna go all in, I have to make this work, then you're gonna actually physically put in the efforts to make sure that it's gonna eventually work. You're gonna eventually come across that threshold, and once you get that specific nugget that you just needed to get over that hump, then boom, you're gonna take off from there. You know what works, so now you just gotta keep scaling and keep scaling. The other book that I read was actually a more spiritual book, but it just relates to business and the Bible. Like, if you think about it, I'm still learning. So I'm still kind of an amateur when it comes to the Bible because I'm still learning, I'm still studying. But what I realize is the Bible and what I've learned in my business journey, they all correspond with each other. It's just, it's different text by sight, but I mean, the foundation of it is all the same, man. What the book is called, Crossing Your Next Threshold, which in general is about, what it's gonna take for you to cross your next threshold, and not only building your relationship with Christ, but also in your life, in your career, in your marriage, in your relationships, in your business, what it takes. And it really goes in depth about the different steps, which is there's 7 steps, which I'm not going to get into right now, but definitely you go check out the book in the description below, read the book for yourself, because I do believe in providing valuable content, but I also have to leave some room for those who have that hunger, have that drive to actually, self-educate themselves, because that's what it takes. There's a famous quote that says, formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune, being the reason that you make yourself more valuable to the marketplace by obtaining knowledge and using that knowledge and providing that knowledge to someone else that it may benefit at a lesser advantage. But as I was saying, definitely check out the book below. 2 books, because one of the book, the Threshold book, I got from going to an event. So you might not be able to find that book, but you might be able to find it if you look it up and do diligence. But I'm gonna have both books in the description below. As a Man Thinks by James Allen and Think and Grow Rich. Definitely check those books out. And I just encourage you guys to definitely work on your mindset, think positive thoughts, and you have to believe in what it is you're trying to accomplish or where it is you're trying to go. You have to think that that's where you're going. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's what you're doing, and you're gonna make it happen. You're gonna make it work, because there's no other way. There's no other way. There's no other way. You have to have that mentality. And I'm telling you, when I first started online, I ain't never made $1 online. But as I started my blog and continued my blog, continue studying, continue training, and implementing on that training, and then providing that valuable content, that valuable knowledge that I've obtained, I had developed the mindset and sweat equity and mentality that produce the results that I was thinking in my head. I was thinking like, I'm gonna keep doing this until I make my first dollar online. And then when I make my first dollar online, that's when it's really like, oh man, I knew without having the results that it was possible. I seen the results before I got the results. That's why I got the results, because the mentality that I went into it with. And then when I got the results, I'm like, okay, now, oh man, I'm about to take off. I know it works. So now I'm just gotta keep pushing. And now that I have the proof, now I know like there's no excuse for me not to succeed online, because I know it works. I know it's possible, not only because it's already been done by those who paved the way before us, but it's been done by me and myself. With the grace of God and His mercy, and me believing and having that faith and acknowledging Him in everything that I was doing, it's just unbelievable, man. I'm telling you, when you guys tap into your inner, your external potential, ooh, boy, I'm telling you. So definitely check out the books below. It's Ronnie with InvestorRonnie.com. Connect with me on Facebook. Definitely check out my blog. If you want more information on the system that I use, definitely check that description out. Definitely check out that link in the description below. And I'll holler at you guys later. Peace.